Hi, my name is Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and I'm in the polytunnel today and I've just spent a couple of hours in here giving it a massive tidy up, and I'll show you that in a minute. But really this video is about the back garden, and I've just spent the last day and a half tidying up the back garden and getting that ready for winter as well. And I've potted on loads of brassicas, the ones that are intended for the polytunnel. I'll show you those as well. And I've started doing the seed sowing. I'm not going to go into all the seeds because I do that on the first of every month and show you all the seeds and seedlings and all that sort of thing. But I'll just show you the some of the progress on the brassicas. So yeah, with that I'll just have a quick zip around the polytunnel, show you what I've been doing, and then we'll get home and I'll show you the back garden and what I've been up to there. So here we are. This is the back garden. We've got a few tomatoes around here, onions. We've got a mix of spring onions and onions for overwintering, blackberries, grapevine, more tomatoes, lots more tomatoes. These are the trees that I grafted last year. Pretty pleased with those. And then tomatoes, and then carrots in boxes. Hopefully these will be the last carrots that we harvest. So yeah, at home, and I've got a couple more boxes on the allotment. So generally what we find is that the ones in the boxes last the longest. The ones in the ground get eaten by slugs a little bit. And then here, these are my second succession shallots. I think there's 4 of those. And then these are earlier second succession shallots. This one's nearly finished. That one's almost completely finished. And then these are early main crops. And I think these are all King Edwards, but generally speaking the main crop potatoes have been a disaster this year because of blight. And there's some squash here. Debbie's just been picking these, but these are these little patty pan things, really nice. And then again, tomatoes that have just been battered, something chronic by the weather. So these should be a lot bigger than this, but unfortunately not. That said, brassicas are doing pretty nicely. More brassicas here, and more brassicas there. A few tomatoes. Just a couple of containers full of sweet potatoes. We'll see how those do. Just as a trial really, to see how well they do in containers. And more brassicas. And then here we've got some golden beetroot. And this is chard. I had to set the tops off because it's got that fungal spot because it's just been raining so much. And a nice big bed of carrots. Next year this is going to be completely different because all these staples effectively are all moving to the allotment, and all these 4 beds here will all be leafy greens, salad greens effectively, but also cooking greens like spinach or New Zealand spinach in summer. So basically these will be the summer leafy green beds. So I'm quite excited about that because they're really high maintenance and we harvest them a lot, so it makes a lot more sense to have those in the back garden. And then over winter there'll be the winter leafy greens, so that will be things like the field beans and spinach and chard and stuff. So, and here, blueberries in these containers, pretty much finished. And look at that, those, unfortunately, are Sarpamira. And we've had an amazing, there's an amazing number of potatoes in there. even now, even though they've died back a month or more early, I think we've got something like £7, no more than that, yeah, £7 per container. So at the correct time we'll get something like £14 of potatoes per container if those had lasted until the end of September. And it's not just the Sarpomeras, it's also these, the Rudolphs. I harvested one of those yesterday and rubbish basically. I think probably only about £4 from each one of these. Now these are my third succession of shallots for eating till the end of this year and hopefully into next year. And then the ones on the allotment that will ultimately end up in the polytunnel will carry on until providing new potatoes until March time, and then towards the end of March we'll harvest our first true new potatoes of 2020. And then these are another 4-5 containers of Sarpomera, and these haven't quite died back yet, but these have got this blight on them as well. It's just been a bad year for us for potatoes. We've never really suffered from blight, so I'm really pleased at least I sowed blight resistant varieties. And then there we've got some more brassicas. It is nice to have some brassicas at home. Yeah, very nice. And most of these are my polytunnel brassicas, which I just potted on into these big pots because it's going to be the first week in October when these get planted into the polytunnel, so they've got quite a long time. So they, I want them in reasonably good pots because I want nice, big, healthy plants in the polytunnel, so we can start harvesting them as soon as possible. So these kale are for the polytunnel. So those are red boar. Those are reflex curly kales all down there. These are Carvalho Neros, again for the polytunnel. These are clumps, let's get down a bit closer, clumps of early purple broccoli, and I'm growing them in clumps in the hope that we get an abundance of small leaves. Now we've tried that with the sprouts and it works really well, so I'm hoping that it works well for the broccoli, because it's really nice to have a wide range of leaves. Well, that's what we think anyway. And there's one little orphan calabrese for some reason. And then these won't go in the polytunnel. These are Romanesco cauliflowers, all down here. And one more Carvalho Nero. And then these are spare chards, because we've got a lot of chard that's suffering on the allotment from leaf miner. So I've got just a few here just held in reserve. I'd normally have planted these out, but I want to leave them here at the moment because I've got nowhere to put them. And then down here I've got one more spare curly kale, and then these are January King cabbages waiting for spaces to open up. And then these are little clumps of sprouts. They're not looking so good at the moment because they're in small pots and I've only just put them in these slightly larger pots. But again, hopefully I can grow these to give me an abundance of really nice leaves. And then these are unknown. I lost the labels for these. But anyway, I'll probably figure it out from the leaf shape, because it's quite a characteristic leaf shape, quite pointed. So I suspect they're cauliflowers. And that one looks like a cauliflower as well, and that doesn't. That's probably a calabrese. So that is the back garden. It's pretty productive, but it's going to be so much better next year. Well, what I didn't point out actually, let's walk down, is that these are all in the silver things. These are all blueberries, and then these are strawberries. These are finished now, and there's a few pots scattered about of carrots. They have not done well. I planted them in a kind of compost soil mix, but you can see from the yellowing on the leaves that they've not thrived, and I'm not sure whether it's the mix or the variety, because I think they were an early Nance, and maybe an early Nance with all the cold and wet that we've had. They just haven't enjoyed it very much. And in the front garden we've got this incredibly shady little patch here, which nothing pretty grows in, so we've decided to put some kales in there for winter, in the hope that well, if it can't be pretty, at least it can be productive. And we're gradually transitioning the front garden to be full of more edibles. So, I hope you liked that video, and I'll see you soon.